Salve, citizens, and welcome to Blacksmith Master. Let's dive in here. Let's do that ultimate starter guide that we'd like to do. We'll talk through everything, but first up, we will play through the tutorial that is at the very start of the game. Welcome. This is your new workshop where many amazing weapons and tools will be crafted. Since we don't have anyone to help out yet, let's hire our first blacksmith. Okay, let's do that. Let's do the heats ingots faster. So blacksmiths or anybody, when you hire them, will always have one positive and one negative. Later in the game, as you skill up, you can change your way and potentially get 2 bonuses instead of just 1. Let's do that. Amazing. We're prepared to start production now. Okay, so this is our orders here. To expand your business, you'll need to make money first. For now, the only way to do that is to complete merchant offers. There we have it. All right, the blacksmith's going to craft a mace. At the top left here, you can go fast and slow, or standard and fast. I leave it on fast because it's a lot. It's a big grind otherwise. All right, so you can click here or click here to interact. Then you hit complete and close that out. To unlock stuff in the mastery tree. Enables you to craft carpentry. Let's unlock that carpentry. You're missing only 1 tool to be able to craft wooden items, a carpentry workbench. So let's do that. Click into there, and then click into there. There we go. And get out of that. Nice. Let's continue on. Let's add one more touch before we finish by naming our workshop. Okay. Daddy Smith 6900. Yeah, sure. There we go. Alright, we're going to keep going at full speed. So now we're doing carpentry tools. We're making these clubs and scoops, it looks like. And at this point, we just kind of wait for the tutorial to finish. So we're going to let this happen. Alright, looks like now we can hire additional staff. So make sure you're going into this book here and unlocking things. It says you can hire more staff now. Let's hire 2 more blacksmiths immediately. Alright, hire blacksmith. Yes, and yes. There we go. Each blacksmith also has a positive and negative trait. Yes, we did talk about that. We don't necessarily need this, but we'll go ahead and build it. It says Z and X to change position. There we go. We're going to let them do their thing. So as you play through the game and use your resources, you can restock by right-clicking on this and this. Eventually, as you get the game more and more developed, you will be able to also harvest those resources raw and convert them into what you need. There we go. That is done, complete. It looks like now we need to choose additional offers. Let's do that. Let's do this, and let's do that. And at this point, the tutorial has kind of just, like, concluded itself. So what's going on here is every time they craft anything, you get 1 skill point. You're saving up those skill points here. And there's 5 different types of skill points, which you'll get higher and higher skill points when you unlock additional skill point options by upgrading tools. When you upgrade like what you craft via the blueprints, then they sit down, and you can see here now we unlock the ability to build. And at this point, these early game points, you have to unlock everything. So you have to unlock this and this and this and this and this and this to start enabling the store. But I would suggest you get the blueprint upgrades next, because it's going to give you that option to unlock additional things. But you pretty much just press start. Look at that. Yeah, there we go. That's good money, and good money. But at this point, you know, we unlock the ability to upgrade the store. So let's talk about that a little bit. You can build the walls for 50 each. Then you can change how the walls look. And then you can just do the standard floor. Let's just do a basic expansion here. And then we'll come back through and we'll add these walls all the way around. Be careful because you don't get full amounts back. What we're going to do is add a door there, and this is cool. So when you eventually get a store, you can scoot your sign, and that'll be where they enter. That'll be where customers enter. So you can scoot your sign to whatever door is your store entrance. But what we are going to do at this point is we are going to go back into building, and we're going to take out these walls all the way around. We're going to expand that wall. We're going to change the upper wall to wood, as you see here. It's all changing to wood. And then the lower wall we're going to also change to wood to just match what the store looks like. And we'll do the same on the outside, like so. But we'll make the outside with that upper wall be stone, like so. Alright, we are on the main file that we have been playing through, so I'm going to just walk y'all through every major system. Keep in mind we're going to keep it full speed. We're going to start with this here, and we're going to go over the mastery tree in a little bit more detail. Of course, you unlocked carpentry and staffing, and then from there you unlocked construction. Then you do have to unlock all of these things, all of these, all 7 of them, to unlock the store. And we will now talk about the store. You can see we have a store over here. It's pretty simple. You do need to hire a cashier to run the store, and we'll get into employees in a minute. And then you would go to the store tab. You would add the racks that you preferred to see. It's only one type of item per rack, and then from there you would add a cashier. And you would assign a blacksmith to craft only for the racks, which is this option here. So you would go here, and you would choose a blacksmith and what they're crafting for, which in this case, merchants. I think I have pretty much everyone set to merchants. I have one person set to racks. Yeah, right here. There we go. I wasn't able to see it. So when you set them to craft to racks, they're going to move over from here to here. And there you go. Let's do a quick deep dive into employees. There's a couple of things to note. First, we will start with your employees do have levels, and every so often it will prompt you. You can also set it to just do the highest skill first until it's maxed out, and then move on to the next highest, etc. if you don't want to do that yourself. You have assistants. You can assign them to transfer items, and they would get items from the chest. You have restock raw resources, and you have craft ingots. So we have 2 employees crafting ingots and 1 employee getting ore from over here. We will talk about how to do that soon. Additional employees, let's see here. You have the cashier, which is pretty simple. You just sign them in there for the cashier. Then you have miners and lumberjacks, and that is something that's a little bit further down in the book. You can see we have the oak forest, where you get raw wood from, and then the iron mine, where you can get raw ore from. And then you can have that wood restock these, so you no longer have to pay for these. And to do that, you would just simply assign an assistant to move raw resources over to there. So then all of the resources you find is shown right here in this warehouse. All right, let's talk about this design table and what design points are for. If you go into the blueprints, you need design points to upgrade the quality of the item you're crafting. Upgrading the quality, like we said earlier, changes the points you earn. Now, you can still unlock lower tier stuff. It'll tell you if you don't have enough points. Like if I'm paying for something that costs the rare quality, but I have epic quality points as well, I can spend the epic points and still unlock any of this. So you're never going to run out of points because you can always just use the higher tier points, and it's not a big deal if they're crafting everything at an epic level. Like it just sells for more. It's not a negative if it's not a common quality, etc. Let's talk about the jobs here. As you can see, as you progress the game, you're going to get jobs that are worth design points. You're going to get jobs that give you blueprints. You're going to get jobs that unlock items for you as well. All right, let's talk how to get blueprint points, which is different than design points. We had just talked about this. You need to choose jobs that give you a blueprint credit. And then you would use that blueprint credit to unlock a blueprint that you had not yet unlocked. In this case, let's unlock the longbow. And let's go ahead and upgrade it twice. Now the team will also craft longbows if requested to. Another very beneficial item is the item chest. You can see here, everything crafted goes in here, and then we have the assistants taking the items out for us. So the smithies no longer have to walk as far, they just come to here and do what they need to do to take those items outside. Alright, so as you continue to level up, you will eventually unlock the second floor, and then further on down the line you can see there's going to be a third floor, and so on and so forth. But in this top right corner here, you can go up to the next floor. And eventually, I think what's going to happen eventually is you're going to want your first floor to mainly be a store. Because again, when you're building the store, there's only one stand for each thing, so you want that to really expand and change over time, and you want to slowly change your setup to be more focused on the store. I think that about covers all the basics of the game. As we progress, I will cover the more and more technical stuff that does exist in the game. But in the meantime, that is just the basics of starting out, building out your first floor, building out a decent size setup here. Remember, you're going to want 8 to 15 blacksmiths to start out with, and you're going to want pretty much an anvil and a smelter for every blacksmith that you have as well. So, y'all take care and enjoy, and I hope to see you again for more Blacksmith Master.